In the summer of 1993, Jim Shooter returned to the world of superhero comics, this time leading the company named Defiant. Let us take a look inside and see what goes on behind the dark walls of Defiant's watchtower.
So we decided to start again, hence the name Defiant. It's sort of a never say die attitude, company with the indomitable spirit. So it's largely the same good people who made Valiant what it is or what it was. And so what I think we're doing here is we're building the next leader in comics, we're building the next Marvel. And this time we're not going to make mistakes.
We're sitting in the McDonald's on 46th and Broadway, one of the key locations in the Dark Dominion comic. This McDonald's is just one of many locations that we use in Dark Dominion, actually from Manhattan. Some of the other places that we use are the bows beneath Grand Central Station and different buildings and locales throughout Manhattan.
This is our Mercy's home set. The ATM machine, and where I placed Mercy was right there. That's kind of hard to, I mean, I guess a homeless woman couldn't really get away with living here for very long, but she does. So anyway, I kind of placed her down here. So whenever Michael comes in and has a conversation with her, she lives here, you know, she keeps her suitcase over here full of her sausage McMuffin wrappers and everything. And Michael just comes in and talks to her, and she leaves her. Welcome to Dark Dominion. I can imagine this is where a lot of people from the bowels might live. I mean, number one, although you can't feel it, this place is very warm, and it's in the middle of winter up there. The home of the characters Peeper, Leper, and all of the cast and characters of the Dark Dominion series. The place where Michael Alexander has most of his adventures about. Stretches far and wide. We're about 4 stories below Grand Central Station. Come on. Down here in the bowels, see Michael Alexander as a savior. They call him Glimmer, because when he turns into his quantum form, he glows from within. He's like their light, their savior. So he comes down here and offers them help. He inadvertently saves them from what is terrorizing them, the creatures of the id, the creatures of our subconscious. They exist right alongside us. Try to imagine if I was in the quantum realm right now, I'd have some big ogre on top of me. or a small demon on top of me, the spiders of anxiety, because it's really creepy down here, and I hope these guys don't make me stay down here longer than I have to.
Well, it's all in your head, I guess. If you're scared, you're scared. If you're not, you're not.
Try to imagine that as some kind of electrolysis device or some kind of torture mechanism. Chasm's the devil. Chasm's in control of the substratum, He sort of manipulates and lives off of people's fears. And he does this by the creatures that are under his command, under his control. And what I mean by he's the devil, he's the arch nemesis, he's the bad guy. Chasm's going to become, he's a bad guy now. And he crosses into the substratum. But he's going to become something more than bad. He's going to become something more than arch nemesis. He's going to become pretty much evil. And semi-deity evil.
So this is your overhaul. This is take 2 that we've got to start again, and build. Now I think the first, well, I guess now the first 13 pages, they look pretty fun to me. I mean, they look all right. So I don't think there's any. I mean, I signed off on those. Well, I think the first thing we should do is maybe, Deb, you could like recap the story as far as we've gotten.
The little boy misses his brother, who's an MIA. He's very determined to find out where he is. We find out that the U.S. government is too backed up with paperwork to find one specific individual. By a stroke of luck, he winds up in where is it?
The Philippines.
Yeah, in the Philippines. Is able to sneak aboard a boat that goes to Saigon. Is that where we're going
Yes.
to? Okay, we're now in Saigon with a 12-year-old boy.
Well, the whole theme of Defiant, okay, and really the essence behind all of our characters is the realization of dreams. Okay? Sure. In this particular case, this is a kid who has some real intense feelings, some real intense dreams, you might say. And his like I said, this quest for sort of justice, for fairness, this quest for the life of his brother, this quest for life in general. He doesn't get this. What do you mean they sent him over there and they can't find him and it's okay? You know, it's like, what do you mean? That's not right. And that's the key to it. That's not right. You cannot abide somebody just being, written off. Well, we can't spend any more time on him. Why not?
Well, see, I guess, and see, maybe it all originated because that's how I feel about our MIAs and our POWs and stuff like
So
that.
this-
So it's like,
Yeah, it's like, this is the story of Deborah Purcell. This kid has through incredible determination and courage and so forth, has gotten himself at least to Vietnam and has inspired these people that he's come in contact with to help him. All right? Driven by forces, which I don't remember how this was engineered, but we had some reason why that particular village where his brother apparently is, that he was somehow being made a target of presumably an American military attack. All right. And what we did is we choreographed this so that as Charles arrives there and sees his brother, who is in fact there, and runs toward him, that's when the helicopters or the jets come over the horizon and blow the living hell out of this place, right? So he's running through this inferno and forest.
his brother is immolated before his eyes.
And so as he comes toward his brother, the napalm hits and his brother is just toast, just cooked before his eyes and dies, sort of falling towards a little brother. Charles gets gunned down and is crawling to his brother, and then a bomb shears off Charles's legs, and he's well on to dying, clutching his brother's still smoldering dog tags, which is as close as he gets to him. They take him back to the military hospital. And he can't be moved. This is the last days of Nam, and they're really, the choice is move him and perhaps kill him, or leave him. They can't do that, and that's where Doc comes back in.
Doc gets wind of it because of all his connections at the hospital.
And Doc just won't let him die. And the kid basically grows up in a coma, you know, for the most part. Charles's dream sequence, where Charles, in his mind at least, is faced with the choice of giving up, of dying, or you know, of hanging on. This is the moment that we're going to build our little quantum event around. That, as I told you, the Defiant universe is all about the realization of dreams. Without getting into the technical part of it, basically that's the moment where his dream comes true, right? Where he is made whole. But anyway, that we build to that moment. It ties into the rest of our universe. On the voyage to Bangkok, this boat he's on is attacked
By pirates.
by pirates. We set up an incident that is similar enough to his brother's death that it kind of triggers all the same emotions. Basically, the pirates lock the passengers in the hold and light the ship on fire, having stripped it of its belongings. And he sees people framed against the flames like his brother was, and he just goes nuts. His first instinct is almost the terror and horror, almost to freeze. And then this will be kind of a trademark thing we'll do. Then he takes his brother's dog tags and he jumps the gap to the pirate ship and starts cleaning house on these pirates. And he eventually gets rid of all of them, gets the refugees onto the pirate ship. He now realizes that he is back. He's not just back, he's back and he's now able to do what he always wished he could do. And a lot of details to be worked out in terms of like what's going on in this village, why would Americans attack it at that moment, how do we dovetail those things together.
How does Charles know to go to this village in particular? We have at Doc's place, we have Charles the night before he's ready to leave, he meets the girl. But who informs Charles?
Well, all of this is to be determined now. It's going to be changed.
In the morning he escapes from Doc's, okay?
Yeah.
You do the escape, you do Doc's reaction to the escape, like, clever kid. Then you do him, you know, hanging onto the back of a truck, getting out of the city. Then you do him walking on a dirt road. Then you do him seeing the village down below, and, you know, you do him showing the picture in the village.
Yeah.
Then you go back to Doc.
Yeah.
Okay, and you have Doc, like I said, doing Doc things, you know, talking to the attaché on the phone to this guy, manipulating, being the master manipulator. We've seen him, right?
Yeah.
And
Back to
and maybe actually, in order to accomplish what Adam's talking about, maybe then what you do is the secretary comes in and brings him his tea and says, you know, anything I can do for you, sir? And he says, see if you can find out anything about that kid who was here. I just got my curiosity piqued and I just want to know. Yes, sir. Okay. Cut to Charles at the next village, showing the picture.
Okay.
Cut back to Doc. Doc is on the phone. Doc's on the phone to Kissinger.
Right. Okay, I like that better then. Then we get more of the fact that he's there and he's trudging along. And
these are plotting proton power pills.
I know.
That's what they say. Like you say, let's see what Charles does over and over again. What I see is first the hiking of Charles, maybe backpacking, and we see a village below. We see Charles in the village showing the photograph. Then we constantly are showing Charles maybe in different gear, different places, showing the photograph from village to village. So we see the same thing repeated over and over again, showing that Charles is hitting lots of different villages.
So then I think what you do is as he's leaving that building, a couple of Doc's guys come and say, you know, we'd like you to come with us.
He walks out, and first time, here's two big guys in suits.
And they'd have to do something to win his confidence. But maybe it would be as simple as this. Charles would say, you know, like they'd say, come with us, we'd like to take you to our friend Doc McGee. And he'd say, no thanks, pal. And they would say, Doc anticipated that you'd be reluctant. He told us to tell you that you know, his personal guarantee, his word that this is, that, you know, he's not going to do anything to you. You know, something like Doc promises that he will not delay you on your quest to get the two duck luck. So Charles goes, he knows. Okay, so if we now reblock that a little tighter, Are we now equipped to go panel by panel?
Yes.
Well covered.
So
Did you pay them as well?
Yeah. Machetes, we got the
shades,
kicks,
you got everything.
we got machine guns.
The whole 9 yards.
He's going to be in the Superman.
Okay, fine. If that's...
Anything, and you know what's nice, I hope you stick around with this character, there's all different superheroes in the universe have all different powers, some specialize in this, some say, eventually, whatever any character does, he'll be able to mimic.
Oh, really?
If there's a cloaking character, he can cloak. If there's a character that can enter the quantum field, which there are, he can enter. Super strong, super smart, super invulnerable, super everything. So he'll literally be eventually the most powerful character in the universe. He'll be the icon, the cornerstone of all the characters. Like whenever years from now the big danger, he's at the front.
Right.
So that's why Jim is there. They rather draw it out now because they really want a substance, a solid foundation for all the stuff that they're going to build upon.
Right. The big bat.
Okay, so we want a relatively big
you haven't had
panel.
any impact. You know,
What?
you want your impact at this point. No pun intended.
Okay. Boom. He actually, with the length of it, he actually hits two guys at once.
Sure.
So you see,
Yeah. And they go bones crack, snap.
And how do we make it heroic? You know, that's why I'm saying the you know, whether he throws a rope into the water, a life preserver, and everyone grabs onto life preserver, and he grabs everyone like a fishing line. Because a lot of people are in the water at this time. Throws two life preservers.
No, I like him throwing. If you're going to do something like that, I think you're better off. He grabs like a grappling hook off a bulkhead, and and wings that to the other boat, or something like that.
I think it's really nice.
And then he, then you need a couple panels of it catching on, and then him drawing it back.
Top of 38. I don't know how we can have a long shot shot me like feeling pretty macho.
That's great. Yeah,
doing
the horse.
And then do we want a close up of Clank?
Yeah, you need the close up.
Okay, of Clank. We're gonna assume that the Clank is on the flaming boat.
Right.
Okay, we don't need to pull back.
No, not for that. Because then you're going to go to a long shot.
Big shot
of him wailing like this, and then a long shot after that of the two boats drawing together.
Okay, I can actually see this is I think 38 gives us another macho shot, a really big close up.
Big macho shot of wailing. And then you see what it is.
I'm just going to do a sketch, which I probably would approach very similar to doing a page layout, where I'd have basically a mental conception of the figure and what I want to do. And then I'd probably do a quick layout, just to get the position of the body.
Sat one day to talk to you about what was wrong. Go around, I stare in the face in my song. Sit right back, let me tell you the story, yeah. Remember long ago when you found me inside your soul. Tell me apart. Let me get it out and scream and shout. The beat goes on. The beat goes on.
That's basically how I would actually do a comic book, which is just this obviously sketch. And I don't have the aid of my trusty eraser, but if I was actually going to ink the book, I would probably take it to probably a little less than this level, and then I would proceed to correct any little problems right with the inking. There you go.
The way I like to approach it is just free-flowing, stream of consciousness, and see where it develops. We'll start with a certain vision in our mind, whether that's the end product. I'll see it out on the paper because what's here looks good, but sometimes on the paper it doesn't. So I'll just wing it as I go along. And the first thing I always like to start off with is the face, because the face is what humans in general tend to identify with most. A lot can be the face, second the body language. So once the face is right, everything else can fall into place.
I speak. Why? 'Cause I feel like talking. I speak. So my lips together.
Defiant is very story-oriented. I'm an artist, so I'm usually the last person on the ladder to get everything at the story's done. But Defiant, they like to include me as much of the creative process as they can. Just I'm constantly going back with the editor, trying to get the story down before I even draw picture one. So right now we are working and reworking, re-editing. So when the script is finally given to me, everything up there is essential to the story, and I can just enhance it like that. There was no sketch of Charlemagne before me. They said, well, we want someone noble looking, honest looking. Yet in the same respect, they wanted a character who was 6'6", not super built like the Hulk, but of strong stature. So you have to combine, good qualities with very intimidating qualities. I took references from people that actually existed that had attributes of Charlemagne, and I put them all together. And then I spiced them up a little bit, made them a bit more macho, because this is a comic book. Eventually, once he's developed to a certain level, we'll say, okay, well, this is what Charlemagne can do. Let's express that through his physical appearance.
Well, the good guys are kids. They're basically naive. I mean, from their point of view, they all wished very hard and they became superheroes. They don't understand the science behind it. No yellow caption box appears over their heads and explains it to them. To them, it's very simple. On the other hand, they are drawn. It starts out with them being a game. It's like, hey, we have superpowers. Cool, let's go patrol the city. They become inexorably drawn into some pretty harsh reality. Anybody who thought The Good Guys was a kiddie book is going to be seriously stunned with some of the things that happen there. The fact that they're young heroes, or young kids, not heroes, they're young kids, doesn't change the fact that they're playing pretty dangerous games. The other title is Prudence and Caution in particular. Prudence is first seen on Plasm, but she's not from Plasm. She ends up on Earth, and she ends up with Mouse from Plasm as sort of a partner. I asked Chris to describe it, and he said it's a male-female buddy book, superhero, world conqueror meets noble but naive hero, sort of super Conan in drag against the nicest guy you've ever met. It's amazing stuff. It's got a lot of humor in it, but it's as all Chris Claremont superhero stuff goes, it's pretty intense stuff.
We decided we wanted to do a real swashbuckling superhero, action-packed, cosmic, and significant in some way. Hopefully original, but something with some of the majesty and the alien, eerie quality of some of the characters that we had loved. So I went away and I came back with War Dancer. He's based on Shiva, the Hindu god Shiva, who does the dance of creation-destruction, the constant dance that keeps creation-destruction in balance. I'd always liked the metaphor of the dance as keeping reality together. So that's the dancer and the war dance. American Indians in their war dance. He wears war paint. It's not a mask, it's paint, it comes off. And we had a character that was so potentially powerful and so potentially tragic that Jim decided this guy would be the linchpin of the Defiant universe. So when people say, what is War Dancer? I had a line, if I can remember it now. It's a knockdown, drag-out, action-packed, chock full of downright emotion, love story with apocalyptic overtones. There it is. Don't forget those overtones.
Big thing happening story-wise in the Defiant universe is we're building towards our first sort of major crossover, and it's called Schism. And basically this is sort of the end of the origin of the universe. A lot of people have wondered, well, wait a minute, okay, we understand there's real world Earth, we understand there's this place called Plasm, what is the relationship, how did they get that way? And the storyline answers that. Also brings together a lot of the characters and sort of weaves the universe into, I think, a clearer whole for people. The complaint I heard after a while was that these giant crossovers force people to buy books they don't want to buy. You know, you have to buy this month's Potato Man because it's part of the crossover. You don't usually buy Potato Man, all right? So when I was at the last company, when we did our crossover, I tried to make it so that you didn't have to buy all the books. That you could read just one, it would make sense to you. In other words, if you read just Solar Man of the Atom, you got pretty much the whole story. You get more of it if you read the other books. Try to make people want to buy the books as opposed to be forced to buy the books. Similarly, here we found yet another way to do that. The main story of the crossover was going to take place in 4 graphic novel sized books, and separate from the regular monthly books. All the monthly books will lead up to these, and all the monthly books will continue after them. But we're going to make it intelligible so that if you don't want to spring for the books, or if you don't think it's worth it, you're not, quote, forced to. So that's. But I think this is such a significant event that no one who's interested in our books is going to want to miss it. Really came up with something I think that has never been done before, and probably won't ever be done again.
I enjoy my job because it's different every day. I mean, you know, I do everything from actual text editing for grammar, spelling. I edit artwork in case something doesn't look correct. I would go in and tell the artist that there might have to be some changes made. To putting together the whole art team on a book. I also really like the fact that I'm handling a lot of the submissions that come in through the office. I feel like I've discovered a few talents, and really I'm happy when I can give a new creator a chance to work at a professional company. It's been a phenomenal learning experience having Jim Shooter around and telling me, giving me a lot of advice and help. I've learned immensely since I've been here.
What I like about it is it's a small shop. We're startup so far, so everything's being done for the first time. We don't have a ton of continuity to deal with at this point. And it's sort of like what working at Marvel must have been in the 60s when they were just gearing up their superhero line. So it's much more like a family. And our little family of creators so far, the artists and writers, Childress, Gray, Joe James, Adam Pollina, and of course Dave Lapham on Plasm. We've got quite a nice little family coming together here, and it's nice feeling part of that as opposed to a very, very small cog in a great big machine.
Comics is entering its 2nd century. This year is the 100-year anniversary of continuing comics, starting with Hogan's Alley back in 1894. Okay, fine. It's about time we got it right. And so we see ourselves as sort of leading comics into its 2nd century and building something unbelievably wonderful and showing everybody how it's done and really being a leader in this medium. And it's a medium, it's not just an industry or a cute little profession. This is a medium, and we see ourselves as a leader in exploring the potential of that medium. And what Defiant is about, if you had to sum it up, I'd say Defiant is about the realization of dreams. And I think that 100 years ago, a dream started forming. And what I think Defiant is the realization of the dream of this medium.
as the sun sets, another day comes to a close at Defiant. Hours after the office is empty, one man will continue working, quite defiantly, pursuing his dream of making the best comic books in the world.